Welcome back to the Draw of Fairway to Green podcast. I'm Nathan, one of your hosts. Now, Brian, this week we had a pretty exciting week on the PGA and LPGA Tour. Two popular tour players, one on each tour. We start with the Tommy Fleetwood getting the 1,000-pound monkey off his back with his win at the Tour Championship. I mean, it's been a long time coming. We've gone over this in the past. He was close last year at the RBC Canadian Open, losing to Nick Taylor on that dramatic 72-foot putt. I mean, you can't blame him there. That's a great putt by Nick Taylor.
What are you gonna do about
This,
that one?
yeah, this year the Keegan Bradley one at the Travelers is probably the one he's kicking himself about. Three putting from off the green, losing that one heartbreaking fashion again, and then a couple weeks ago at the FedEx St. Jude being up. I think it was three with two to play or three with three to play and
Yeah,
missing.
some three up
Yeah,
with three to play or something like
yeah,
that.
missing on the playoff by one stroke, and then seeing Rose, his countryman, win. I mean, I that feeling on that 15th tee. I don't know how he handled those last four holes down the stretch yesterday.
No, I don't know either. Like those coming down the stretch, what the tee shot at 14, the tee shot at 15. On 15, I was yelling at him like, "Tommy, take the 6 iron," because everyone hitting the six, everyone hitting the 5 iron was going off into that little area behind the green there, and I was like, "That's a tricky up and down." But I mean, he made bogey, but I mean that's better than the alternative because we saw Scotty Scheffler hit into the water. We saw Keegan Bradley hit into the water. So I guess getting just on the grass is important there on that 15th hole.
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't his second shot still wasn't good. I mean, when he hit it, I know he had the slope to go up, but to like, I don't know. I thought maybe he was gonna chip, maybe just to get it up the slope easier, kind of fly it and kind of one stop and stop. But
Yeah, we saw Cameron Young do that. He hit it to like a foot.
yeah.
The,
So I
the little
mean,
ledge.
and give himself, I don't know, was 15 to 20 feet for par, not the best look. Good run at it, not great. He kind of got a little teach from Cantley, but yeah, the tee shots coming down the stretch, 16, 17, 18. I mean, 18 hit a perfect tee shot. I honestly thought when it landed, I'm like, oh, that's got to slow down. Like that better not get in the water. The second shot, not great. The yanked 4 iron, but he did what he had to do. And once Cantley missed the green and had poor chip shot for his third, it's like, oh, this is gonna happen. I mean, I thought he was gonna cry. I really did. He was pretty stoic in his interview. I saw his stepson kind of come on the green, and he was the one crying, and he let out a little scream, and he was great in the interview with Kara Banks, and kind of the exact kind of opposite reaction I thought he would have. But after I've read 30 career top five finishes to this
Oh
point
my!
in his career. I
He is,
mean,
what is he at for like runner ups now? I think
it
it was
was
it
it
was
was
six
six
six.
and
Yeah.
yeah, six runner-ups, six third places, and over $33 million in career earnings without a win. I mean, granted, he's won 7 times on the DP World Tour, but this is just different. And the FedEx Cup title, his and the $10 million purse. I mean, this has been a great year for storylines with Rory McIlroy completing the Grand Slam, Cameron Young finally winning, Fleetwood winning, Scheffler kind of solidifying himself as the best player since Tiger Woods and being one major away from the career Grand Slam. I mean, I couldn't think of better headlines out of this tournament other than Fleetwood getting this win.
No, absolutely. I mean, I feel like the Tour Championship is one of the top tournaments to win, other than maybe the majors or the players or an Olympic gold medal. But this is the one that you kind of want to win. You are the best player, maybe not like stats wise, but you technically are the best player on tour that season, winning the Tour Championship. So that's got. I mean, he is arguably the third best player on tour. I mean, he deserves it. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, I think right now, if the Player of the Year votings came out, Scotty's one, obviously. I think Rory's two, and I think he's three. I mean, there's maybe Spawn can kind of vie for that spot with the U.S. Open win and the second at the Players, but I mean, Fleetwood, I think, was third in scoring average all year. He's been close multiple times. I think he's got to be the third best player on tour this year, and that's a great sign for him and for the European Ryder Cup team because that team is coming into form right now. Do you have thoughts on Eastlake? Because I have some, and
Um,
I may ruffle some feathers here with the
I'll
takes
let
on this golf
I'll
course.
I actually wanted to bring up the fact that Tommy Fleetwood, his putting was absolutely ridiculous this week. He had 8.1 strokes gained putting, and Sam Burns was in second place at 3.9. So that's over 4 strokes gained over the field this week in
Yeah.
putting, and that's what his game has been the last few weeks. but it's kind of disappeared when you need it most at Memphis, especially. So it was really nice to see his putting like continue to stay really solid going down the stretch there.
Yeah, they mentioned on the broadcast, I think him and Cantley are working with Phil Kenyon, who is obviously Scotty Scheffler's putting coach and a whole bunch of other pros. So I think Phil Kenyon's schedule is going to get quite busy here in the
Oh
next
yeah.
couple months.
And then for the Eastlake comments, I didn't know too much about the. I know they did a recent renovation. I know 15. I really enjoyed the renovation on 15. I feel like that bunker they did exactly what they were trying to eliminate was kind of just like a kind of safe shot, safe miss, just hitting the bunker, get up and down. But now it's kind of like with that slope there, brings the water into play a lot more. And I really enjoyed it with like the whole coming down the stretch for the tournament. 15, you got to get to 15 and kind of bring some more drama into play.
Yeah, I think what they did with the restoration is great. I think kind of restoring its the down on the Ross feel that it kind of lost over the years. I just think outside of I like 15. I like the eighth hole, that drivable par four with all the water on the left, and the 18th is iconic with the par five with the lake and all that. But other than that, like there's not many memorable holes, and I feel like if you're the tour championship, you've gotta I don't know. I think maybe rotating courses, so like East Lake is it every couple years, and you bring in other courses that we don't really play that is different challenging because like 19 under for the Tour Championship or 18 under what Fleetwood finished at. I'm like, I'm not asking for Oakmont. I don't want 2 under to win, but maybe like an 8, 9 under, like a hard golf course. Like this is the 30 best players in the world right now, arguably. I want to see them be tested. And that 15th hole is a great test, especially now with the redo with players being able to bail in the bunker before and now they can't. I think it's great, like you said. I think some of the shots we saw, I think JT and I think it was Shane Lowry almost landed it just on front of the green and it rolled all the way back there to the back pin on Sunday and left themselves. So it rewarded good shots. I don't think Eastlake is that memorable. Atlanta in August is hot. I mean, they got lucky with the rain. The whole lift, clean, and place thing all week. I'm just there are other great golf courses in the Northeast. Last year they went to Colorado for the BMW. Like I think you could kind of treat it like a major where you're kind of rotating. I know the PGA Tour has connections with East Lake and Coca-Cola is big there and the Southern Company is big there, but I think maybe some other courses deserve a look.
Yeah, I agree. The whole PGA Championship model just needs a whole revamp. We talked about it last week at the match play format, and I mean Scotty Scheffler's got to feel upset that maybe not upset, but kind of like darn, like I was the best player on tour this season, and now I'd finished what fifth or something this week.
Yeah,
So I mean, and that's not really rewarding for the season he's kind of had. And I honestly feel like Patrick Cantlay winning would have been the worst case scenario for the PGA Tour of him not really playing great all season and him kind of catching fire this week and winning the PGA Championship and
yeah.
like all these top players have been like what the heck. So and I also agree with you to your point where like switching the courses, like going up north in August would be a lot better than Atlanta where it's hot and humid. They played at the BMW last week, and some players said it was absolutely miserable. I mean, Baltimore in August,
Not fun.
no thank you. But I do like the whole maybe Pacific Northwest kind of cool
Yeah,
area. That's
Chambers Bay. They have like the last time they went to Chambers Bay was the US Open that Spieth won. Like
yeah, the
that's a
Spieth
great
US Open.
course. Like come
I want to
on.
see that in
Like
play.
yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. They're the PGA Tour. I know some courses won't want to host an event because it ruins it for their club, but like if you're hosting the Tour Championship every 5, 6 years, I think people are gonna be like, yes, showcase my club for the season long ending tournament. I know. I think the other one you brought up, Cantley. Boy, his pace of play. At one point, my fiance's dad and I, we were watching him, and I think it was on the 16th hole when he had that bogey putt. And I counted once he stood over his ball on the green to putt, he looked at the hole 6 or 7 times, and it was 15 seconds from when he addressed the ball to when he hit the putt. Like, and I know they were warned, I think earlier on the
Yeah, they
front
were warned like
nine.
early on the back nine, like you got
Yeah,
to pick it up. But Cantley just doesn't care. Like
no. I'm
he
like,
doesn't.
yeah, he's slow. And again, with 30 people, Twosomes, you should be able to fly through that.
Yeah,
I understand.
they were 2 holes behind coming down the stretch.
Yeah,
Like the group ahead of them
yeah,
was finishing up. They just like barely teed off on 16. It was ridiculous. And I
yeah.
and like the tour obviously has to do something about this. I feel like it's been a complaint every time Patrick Cantlay is on TV in a tournament. The human traffic jam, Patrick Cantlay. It just everyone's talking about it. Tom Kim, you see that occasionally too. Like he's another really slow guy when in terms of playing. And I feel like now I think they just find guys now, and it's like what the tour championship at what is it,
Give
40
him penalty
million
stroke right
purse?
away.
Like who
Just
cares? You
penalty
make
stroke right away.
like
Just
Patrick Henley made what $4 million this week. If he's gonna
yeah,
get fined maybe a couple $1,000 for
yeah.
slow play, he doesn't care. Like
No,
not at all.
no. Yeah, I think you give him a warning, and then I think, may heck, forget the warning, just bang, stroke penalty right off the bat. Like something to like really speed it up because the fines, the warnings, none of it's working.
I feel like
And
the players have to genuinely be scared. Like right now, they're
yes,
like, "Oh, the big bad PGA Tour," but I feel like I want them to be scared if they're 2 holes behind. That's just inexcusable.
yeah, it's something again I've heard in the past of do you put shot timers on every group always so they know, and if they get down to a certain time, you give them a stroke. Is it pre-round? You tell them what it is. Post-round, like Colton Oast once said, just stroke them right away. Forget the warnings. The professional golfers, if they know the rule, they can't listen to it. Penalty stroke. It's the same thing in football. You get caught face mask, you don't get a warning, you get a penalty, right? Again, if they start getting penalties, and I think you got to do it to someone like a Patrick Cantlay, doing it to someone like I don't even know a Patton Kazire, it's not going to really affect other PGA Tour players. If you get one of the like PGA Tour like stars like Cantlay or heck, even if it's Rory McIlroy or someone who plays slow, like do it once, and the other stars would be like, oh, we could get penalized. Like something has to be changed. And I know people have said, well, they just gotta shorten the fields, lessen the field so it's not as much. I'm like, no, I'm not a fan of making the fields less people or giving away less PGA Tour cards. There's too many good golfers for that.
No, we're not
I
going to
think you,
penalize the other guys because some
yes,
guys are selfish.
exactly. I think you have to do it and you have to do it immediately. And it's gonna be tough for some of them to learn. But Patrick Cantlay, if he hits the ball 5 seconds sooner, it's not going to change that much. Like it's just not. He knows the read. He knows what it is, especially if it's a short putt. Like just do it. You're an athlete. You're in the top 10 in the world for a reason. Go just make the basic putt. You do it. You probably do it all the time when they're playing practice rounds. They're not taking 10, 15 seconds. They're hitting the putt and moving on.
Yeah, and if you blame it on your routine, then simple more just change your routine. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
you've been playing
aim
golf your
point,
entire life. It's not that big of a deal.
no. Aim point is getting out of control. And I'm not saying get rid of it. I'm just saying they've speeded up somehow. Because even at one point, Cantley, I think, had a 3 or 4 foot putt. He stood behind his ball and did. I'm like, are you kidding? It's 3 feet. Not just hit it in the back of the
You can
hole.
see it. Like, come on now.
Yeah, you're not like if it was me playing, I'd get it. But you're Patrick Cantley. You're like you've won 6 or 7 times on the PGA Tour. You don't need to take your time over a 3 foot putt. Just hit it.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah. So with the Tour Championship, the Ryder Cup teams are almost set. I would say the European team is definitely set. Let's go over that real quick. Rasmus Højgaard took the final qualifying spot on the European team, so he's going to be joining Rory McIlroy, Robert McIntyre, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, and Tyrrell Hatton. He finished, I think it was T13
Yeah, it
over
was
at the British Mat.
T13
Yeah,
at the British Masters, and he jumped over Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka, who couldn't earn any points because they were playing in the Tour Championship. So
yeah. So right now the final six in the points list for the European team are Shane Lowry at 7, Sepp Straka at 8, Ludwig Oberg at 9, Victor Hovland 10, Matt Fitzpatrick at 11, and Matt Wallace at 12. I think the
that'll be
first
John
five,
Rahm.
yep, the first five I think are locked, and I think John Rahm will be the last captain's pick. So Luke Donald's bringing 11 of the same 12 guys he had from Italy a couple years ago, with the exception of he's bringing Rasmus Højgaard this time instead of Nikolai Højgaard. I That's a pretty good team. I again, Rasmus Højgaard will probably play one or two times. They'll hide him in probably foursomes. He probably won't play an alternate shot, I would think, just kind of like his brother did 2 years ago. But the rest of that team, like there's some good pairs. Oberg and Hovland, they were paired together Sunday in the final round. They absolutely destroyed in Marque
Oh,
Simone 2 years ago.
yeah, first group out,
Yeah,
just whooped the
yeah.
Americans. Yeah,
Fitzpatrick and McIlroy were a good group. Obviously, you have McIlroy and Fleetwood. McIntyre and Lowry will probably be a good one. Justin Rose can probably pair with, I would assume, with he'll play with Hogard, kind of the veteran with the rookie. I mean, and John Rahm. Sepp Straka hasn't played good,
no, he has not played well at all
so
recently. I
I
mean,
s-
I think he was out for a personal reason for the BMW. Didn't really see he wasn't really in form this week at the Tour
no.
Championship. So, I mean, I don't really have any doubt that he's going to play well for the Ryder Cup. He'll figure it out once he gets in that atmosphere. But I mean, the real one for me is Matthew Fitzpatrick. I think that Harry Hall could be a really nice alternative to Matthew Fitzpatrick, but at the same time, it's like Matthew Fitzpatrick was on the team 2 years ago in Rome, and I don't know if Luke Donald really wants to switch that up for Harry Hall, who, I mean, he had a very good season, was one of the top putters on tour, but I mean, you got to go with what works, I guess,
Yeah,
for the
I
Europeans.
think if the Ryder Cup's in Europe, I think Harry Hall is probably the decision. Just because, hey, we'll bring a rookie, we'll bring him home soil, we'll stick him with one of our veterans, with Rose or Lowry or something. But going to the Beth Page, Fitzpatrick again hasn't played well in the Ryder Cup. It's very well known. Hasn't I think he earned his first point last time in his third or fourth Ryder Cup. Again, he's played. I think he finished sixth this week over in the DP World Tour. So he's
He did not his final round. He was in
not
position to
great.
win and
Yeah,
shot one
not
over,
great. Yeah,
hit 50% of greens. It was
he,
just not a great
yeah.
showing for
But
him.
I think he'll be fine. He'll be one where he can pair with McIlroy or someone, and he's a good putter. He'll do well on those greens. He has enough distance where I think he could probably steal a point if he's paired with McIlroy. The American side is interesting. So the six are qualified. We know Scotty Scheffler, JJ Spahn, Xander Schauffele, Russell Henley, Harris English, DeChambeau. Those are the six. The next six in the rankings are Justin Thomas at seven, Morikawa at eight, Ben Griffin at nine, Maverick Nearly at 10, Keegan Bradley at 11, and Brian Harman at 12. Now, before we get into it, I have to read you this quote that Keegan Bradley gave Todd Lewis, I think, last night. I didn't see it till this morning. And it's kind of shocking and I think may ruffle some feathers with some people on those rankings. He said there's probably going to be a few guys that think they're going to be on the team that aren't going to be. Right away, my mind goes to Ben Griffin and Colin Morikawa.
Yep,
I
that's
th-
that's the rumor that's
I
going around.
I think Keegan he played well. Should he pick himself? That's a whole nother conversation. If it's not Colin Morikawa and Ben Griffin, Maverick nearly 10. I don't think he's in. I don't, even though he's 10th in points, I don't think he's on. So if you're kicking out Morikawa, Griffin, and McNeely from the 8, 9, 10 spots, I think you probably bring in Cameron Young, Patrick Cantley, and Sam Burns, who are 14th, 15th, and 16th. And that's including Keegan Bradley on the 12-man roster. If you don't include Bradley, I think it's probably Ben Griffin. I would think. Maybe not. Maybe it's again the boys club and Morikawa gets the nod because of who he is and what he's done in Ryder Cups. And heck, we already have Russell Henley's a rookie, JJ Spawn's a rookie. And it's just how many rookies does he want to bring in
I
to
don't
a
think it's
team
I don't
that
think it's ridiculous to take a lot of rookies. I don't think it's
okay.
ridiculous at all. I mean, we saw what happened in Rome 2 years ago, and that was with the boys' club, and didn't go well. The Americans lost. Wasn't really much of a competition after the first couple of days. Right now, the six I have that aren't auto qualified are JT, Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Maverick McNeely, Sam Burns, and Cam Young. I think Cam Young is a lock. I feel like Cam Young's got to be a lock after his performance in the last few
Oh
weeks.
yeah, yeah. I think he's a
Playing back
lock.
in New York, his putting is unbelievable. Short game, unbelievable. I think he's got to be there. Sam Burns, one of the best putters on tour, was second place in putting at the Tour Championship. I don't think Keegan picks himself. I don't think a couple weeks ago I would have said sure. Even last week I was like sure Keegan Bradley can play, but right now I think that there's better alternatives for Keegan Bradley with Cam Young and Sam Burns than just maybe like Keegan won, but playing all right the past few weeks, and maybe he can turn it up in match play. I just think that if he focuses just on captaining the team, he can make the best decisions and kind of take some of the pressure off. And you got Cam Young, easy.
Yeah. I think my six would be JT, Ben Griffin, Cam Young, Sam Burns. I'm including Patrick Cantley, and then that last spot is Morikawa, Griffin, Bradley. After this quote, I really think Griffin may be out, and I don't think he deserves to be out. Again, he's played great. He's won twice. He's finished top five a couple other times. If he doesn't make this team now, I don't know when he'll ever make a Ryder Cup team because this is probably going to be one of the best years of his career. And again, I think Keegan was really hurt by not making that team 2 years ago and not being a part of that boys club.
Should have
So
been there.
I think maybe he picks himself just not to get the revenge, but because he loves the Ryder Cup and wants to play in it so bad. And I think he's better. He's been better than Morikawa. Morikawa
I
hasn't finished in the top 10 since his collapse at Bay Hill, where Russell Henley overtook him on the second to last hole. Like he hasn't really played well. Like I understand he's Colin Morikawa. He's played at Whistling Straits. He played at Marquez Simona. He has two majors. Course fit wise, though, he's a bad putter. That's tough, especially at Bethpage. Doesn't hit it the longest. Yes, he could be go pair with Bryson DeChambeau or someone like that where the distance won't matter. But I think if it's between Morikawa and Bradley, if I'm Keegan Bradley, I think Bradley's in better form right now. And yes, the playing captain thing scares me. The downside of him playing and being the captain and them losing or him playing bad would be a lot for him to handle. If he plays well and they win, looks like a genius. So I know Bradley said it a couple times. It's the toughest decision of his life, and I don't know what he's going to do. We'll find out Wednesday morning. If I wake up Wednesday morning and Ben Griffin isn't on the team and Bradley is, I wouldn't be shocked. If it's Griffin and Morikawa and Bradley's just the captain, I also wouldn't be shocked. I don't think Maverick McNeely or Brian Harman or Andrew Novak are in that conversation anymore. McNeely had a good week last week, kind of didn't back it up this week. He's a good putter, but again, I think the rookie thing and the stats thing, I know they rely big on stats guys, and I don't know where McNeely lies. Isn't the longest hitter. I mean, again, you can hide that with playing a couple sessions, not playing all the time, but I think those final two spots become between Keegan Bradley and Morikawa and Griffin, really.
Yeah, I don't. I actually, I would not be upset at all if Colin Morikawa is not on the team. He just hasn't really been the guy like he has been in the in years past. So I think Ben Griffin should be there. I know Jack Nicklaus. I think Jack Nicklaus actually said that Ben Griffin win these tournaments. Like he's a nice guy, and like back in his day, he wouldn't lose to these nice guys. But like I don't know. I think Ben Griffin, Mr. Creatine overdose. I think he'll be pretty good. I like Maverick McNeely is a really good putter. I mean, I don't think Keegan has to play it, but if Keegan wants to choose himself over Colin Morikawa, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah.
Patrick Cantlay should not be there. I don't think Patrick Cantlay plays for the joy of playing golf. I think he plays for the money. I can't lie. I just, I think it wasn't at the last Ryder Cup at the Hat Gate where he wanted to
Yeah.
be paid, and it was like,
Now he was probably the U.S. team's best player there, though.
that is true. However, I just don't think, no offense to Patrick Cantlay, he's not American enough. No, thank you. I want Cameron Young and Keegan Bradley.
Yeah, I think Cam Young is almost a lock at this point. I mean, he's finished win T11, then T4 last week, and I think T6 this week. New York guy hits it a mile, good putter. I think he's almost as a lock as JT. Now, again, if he's not on the team Wednesday, it wouldn't shock me. I would be surprised, but
I'd be so he's this one I'd be the most surprised by. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I don't know. He's played at Bethpage before. He's from the New York area. He doesn't bring juice. I will say that. Not a lot of juice there, but again, you don't need guy. You have JT, you have Bryson, you have other guys that will bring it. So if you pair him with one of them, like that's fine with me. Like I think he has definitely proven that. I thought he probably should have been on the team 2 years ago instead of Ricky and Spieth. That was one of the guys that I thought kind of got hosed, like Keegan Bradley. Like, hey, like maybe it's time to bring in some new young blood. Like exactly what Luke Donald did with Ludwig Oberg and Nikolai Hogard. Like, bring in the young guys because they're gonna have to play at some point. So give them the experience now. And
Especially in
look at,
America for sure. Like
yes,
home, no better
exactly.
place to do it.
Yes, exactly. So that's why, like you, like if you bring 4 or 5 rookies, that's fine. You're playing on home soil. You can hide them with other veterans, and they can play one time a day. They're not going to be the Bryson, the Scotty, the Xander who's gone out there for 4 or 5 sessions over the week. Like it's going to be very interesting. I know Luke Donald makes his captain's pick September 1st, so by next week we'll know the full 12 teams, and then a couple weeks later we'll be teeing it up at Bethpage.
Let's go.
Over on the LPGA Tour, we had another winless drought snapped. Brooke Henderson winning the Canadian Open, her first win since 2023 at I'm pretty sure it was Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament. Um, Brooke, I saw, is this only the second woman to win the Canadians Open twice. 3 men have done it over on the PGA Tour. She is the first woman to have 2 Canadian Open titles.
No, that's correct. And she is, yeah, the first Canadian woman to have the win the first Canadian woman to win the Canadian Open 2 times. I thought it was a great week on the LPGA tour. Minjee Lee, her and Brooke Henderson started the final round. They were up by 3 shots. It was kind of just a who's gonna win kind of a match play between the two. Minjee Lee made a bogey on the 10th hole, and that was just enough for Brooke Henderson to take it home to win her home open. She after the after her round, she was like, "Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm really happy to have won." Um, yeah, I mean, it's a great tournament.
I will say the LPGA Tour commissioner, what is his name, Greg Kessler, has got to figure out the broadcast and TV deals because I think who was it that tweeted? It was Beth Ann Nichols of Golf Week tweeted the LPGA was supposed to get 2 hours on CBS during the final round, and the Big Three basketball cut into their broadcast time by 20 or 30 minutes.
That's
So
terrible.
they just
That's
lost.
terrible.
Like, who cares about the big, again, no offense to the Big Three basketball,
No, I'm
but
gonna the big three
I
basketball can
don't
get
even know.
disrespected on here. No one here
Yes.
is gonna. I doubt
Yeah.
people in here listen to big
No.
three
Like,
basketball.
these women are good. Again, it's Minjee Lee versus Brooke Henderson, 2 well-known major winners going against each other, and it's Brooke Henderson's National Open. We know how much that matters. Nick Taylor won it 2 years ago. He was a Canadian. He won the PGA Tour, the Canadian Open there.
It's different. It just means that
Yes.
much more when it's their home open.
Yes, Canada loves golf. I've been to the RBC Canadian Open on the PGA Tour multiple times. It's one of the best tournaments to go to. Like this, the commissioner's got to figure it out. I know this week I saw that for the FM Championship, there's going to have feature groups on ESPN Plus. That's a step in the right direction, but still, if you don't have ESPN Plus, how are you going to see Nelly Korda play? I mean, sometimes it's on tape delay, but who's watching a tape delay tournament? Not many people.
No,
All right, like again, like it would be different if it was overseas in Japan, but it's not. It's up in Canada. This week's up in Boston. Like that's got to be one of the things the new commissioner. I know he just got voted in a month ago, but like if I'm him, like that's one of the things I'm focusing on, whether it's with CBS or NBC or ESPN or Fox, like get a TV deal so we can see these women play because they're good.
yeah,
Like
they're so talented. You got all these young Japanese stars. You've got Nelly Korda, Minjee Lee, Lottie Woad. You got all these top players, and big three basketball gets in the way. Like, are you kidding
yeah.
me?
Yeah, so I mean, this week should be interesting with ESPN Plus feature group. Again, this tournament, the FM Championship, TPC Boston. The PGA Tour played there a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure this is where Scotty Scheffler shot 59 in the playoffs the
Yeah,
one
I
year, and
believe so.
Dustin Johnson won at like 29 under. So I'm sure the course will play different. Nelly Korder's in the field, Rose Zhang's in the field, Lilia Vu's in the field, Brooke Henderson's in the field. So again, it's another good tournament. A lot of the top name players are there. You're gonna have a little more access to it. But yeah, again, it was a good finish. Again,
Yeah,
Brooke
absolutely.
Henderson is great. Like again, 14 career wins. the winningest Canadian player, male or female, has represented Canada 3 times in the Olympics. Like, we've got to get these women more coverage.
I agree. I mean, I wanted to highlight Minji Lee. She's having an unbelievable season, and some people might not know how good Minji Lee actually is. Like, Minji Lee, 16 starts, has missed one cut. She has six top tens, including two runner ups last week, and she won a major tournament at the Women's PGA Championship. Minji Lee is really freaking good. And I think them not being on TV is should be a crime, I'm not gonna lie. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, also, I'm right, Minjee Lee's brother, Minwoo Lee, over on the
Hmm.
PGA Tour. So he's a PGA Tour winner. Everyone loves him. Like, what, Chef Chapinski is what
Let
they
him
call
cook.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah, let him cook. I mean, again, another great player. Yeah, it's hard to watch. Like, again, I don't want to watch a tape delay coverage because I know what happened. Again,
I
I
agree.
know it's tough. He's been in the commissioner for a month, but I think you got to get that more exposure. It's only going to help. It's going to grow the purses. All right, you have all these young golfers coming up on the tour. Like, it's going to be good for a long time. If they can just get somewhere on a normal schedule, that would be great.
Yep, I agree.
Next week, well, the PGA Tour is off next week, so in a couple weeks, the PGA Tour is out in California. The Pro Core Championship, September 11th to the 14th. Kind of the last tune-up for the Ryder Cup players. I know Keegan Bradley has said he expects 11 of 12 players there. Bryson DeChambeau, not allowed to play, who was kind of irked at not being allowed to play. Like, kind of blaming it on the PGA Tour. If they lose, like, you should have let me play, coming from the guy that sued the PGA Tour a couple years ago because he left for Live.
No, that's
That
not how it works. You don't get to pick and choose. You kind of know what you signed up for when you went to live.
Yeah, that was a little weird, but again, DeChambeau, little weird with the media. Thought that was odd. So I'm sure 11 of 12 will be there. At least Keegan wants them to be because the last year or 2 years ago they didn't go in playing, and the first day was bad. I still think they should probably get together at Bethpage, maybe for like a team trip too before that, so they all kind of get used to the course. Over on the LPGA tour, we have the FM Championship. Hey Ron, you is the defending championship champion from last year. Again, you will be able to catch featured group coverage on ESPN Plus, also coverage on the Golf Channel. So just LPGA Tour event next week. PGA Tour off. We will see you in a couple weeks. Please head over to Fairway to Green. We have some great articles on there. We usually preview of the events for the PGA and LPGA tours, along with some other stuff on there. There's some DP World Tour stuff and Epson Tour stuff as well. Go over there, check out our website, read the articles, uh, continue listening to us. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.